Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and good morning. I bid to my supervisor, Dr. Haji Muhammad Jalani bin Hassan, my panel 1, Mr. Chan Siang Long, and panel 2, Dr. Manggaleswaran Anak Lelaki Anak Malay. My name is Farah Hafizah binti Abdul Hakim. I am from PSNP June 2017 intake, class 1. Today, I will present the effectiveness of gallery work to improve people's critical thinking skills. Okay, for the background of the study, the first one is to 21st century learning skill can be used as a preparation for the pupils to face the obstacles for the upcoming years. As we know, if the pupils can master the 21st century learning, it is an advantage for them to get a place in a best institution or to get the scholarship. The second one is the gallery work encourage students to work collaboratively, participate actively in synthesizing important concepts in consensus building in writing and public speaking. The effectiveness of gallery work encourage people to share their idea and then to give their opinions to their friends. It can improve their speaking skills. Okay, for the problems in this research, I want to focus the use of traditional teaching methods and strategies lead to poor academic performance and lapse of interest. I think the use of traditional teaching methods is not suitable for the learners in this era. Traditional teaching methods have lead to poor academic performance and interest because they are not activity oriented and student centered. And then the teacher need to have more effective teaching strategy to deliver their teaching, to upgrade their teaching methods and strategies by using 21st century learning methods, such as gallery work, because it is learner-centered. The second one is pupils have no idea on how to give opinions or answer questions related to critical thinking skills. Pupils are more likely to respond with short answers than critical thinking questions. It is because they don't know how to answer the critical thinking question and they feel that the critical thinking questions is so difficult. The purpose of the study is to investigate the effectiveness of gallery work to improve pupils' critical thinking skills. There are two research objectives in this study. The first one is to identify whether gallery work can improve pupils' critical thinking skills, and the other one to find out whether the gender affects critical thinking skills. The research questions are: does gallery work can improve pupils' critical thinking skills, and does the gender affect critical thinking skills? Significance of the research: the first one is prepare for 21st century learning. Focus on student-centered. The gallery activity is focused on the student-centered and the teacher as a facilitator. The second one, teachers know how to implement critical thinking skills. The teacher can accept more than one answer and then give opportunity for the pupils to give their own opinion. The third one, the pupils will be more knowledgeable. It can help them to prepare for their future and then can improve their speaking skill and then also can improve speaking self-confidence. There are few related past researches that related to this topic. The first one, the effects of gallery work teaching strategy on the academic performance of students in basic science concept in river states. It shows that the students were more active in the classroom using gallery work activity, and then the effectiveness of gallery work corporate learning to enhance students' intellectual skills. It shows the positive result from the post-test that the gallery work activity shows the students' intellect skills increase. The design used in the study was quasi-experimental design, which includes pre-test, treatments, and post-test to assess the effectiveness of gallery work activity to improve pupils' critical thinking skills. The treatment in the research refer to the gallery work activity, and then the two groups of experiment and control group participated in the study. The population of the study is year 5 pupils in Sekolah Kebangsaan Komplek Kompada, and it has 5 classes which are 5 Arif, 5 Dedikasi, 5 Cerdas, 5 Makmur and 5 Lestari. Their pupils came from average income family. The sample of the study are 60 pupils. The sample of the study was determined by using random sampling technique. There are 30 pupils in control group and 30 pupils in experiment group. And then the students are average level. Instruments used for data collections are test and interview. For the test, it has pre and post test, and in the test there are 10 subjective questions. The questions evaluated based on 6 cognitive levels in Bloom taxonomy. And then for the interview, there are 3 pupils from experiment group were chosen, and then there are 8 questions in the interview. For the research procedures, the first one, I choose the topic. I will figure out the gallery work activity was fun and effective for the pupils' critical thinking skills. And then the next step, I choose the design for this research, which is quasi-experimental design. And then I submit the proposal to my supervisor. Then I prepared the questions for posters and pre-test and also for the interview. And then I submit to my supervisor to check the question, and after the supervisor approve, I prepared the letter uh, to ask the headmaster about coming to school, and then I conduct the gallery activity and analyze the data. For the data collection procedures, the first one, the pupils were given pre-test questions. Is it to measure the levels of pupils' critical thinking skills? And then after they finish the answer the questions, I collect the data from the students. And then I do the treatment for experiment group, which I conduct the gallery work activity session. As you can see, the table shows the flow of gallery work. First, the representative of each group needs to present their idea. Then the pupils need to walk around the class in their own groups and stop at each station. They need to see their friends' work and write comments on the margin paper using different pen color. They need to state their group number next to their comment, and all groups are required to stop at each station. After finish, they need to sit in their groups, and then I will see the comments and ask the reason of the comments. Each group needs to give the reason why they write that kind of comments. So, I will summarize the discussion at the end of the learning, and then after the treatments finish, I choose 3 pupils from interview group to be interviewed, and then I conduct the interview session, and I also record the audio. The interview session I do at library to make them feel privacy to answer the question. And then after the interview, I give the post-test questions to the students, and then I collect the data. After the data collected, I analyze the data collection, and also I arrange the data, the result of the test based on their gender. For the data analysis procedures, I use descriptive statistics, which is SPSS software, to identify the mean, mode, median, and standard deviation based on the result from post-test and pre-test in control group and experimental group. And then for the interview, I use the meta-analysis, and then I identify the themes and I make them into category so that I can identify the interview by using themes and categories. Okay, this is a conceptual framework. It shows the effectiveness of the labor activity, can improve people critical thinking skill, and it encourage people to work in group. From the conceptual framework above, the use of gallery work in the classroom can help the pupils to improve their critical thinking skill. And then from the gallery activity, the pupils need to produce a product in their respective group to be shown in the gallery, which is their own classroom. They need to share their idea with each other during the discussion to create the best product to make sure their group is better than other group. Okay, so from the discussion and sharing ideas, they use all the cognitive level related to Bloom taxonomy theory, which explain the 6 cognitive level that people should master. And then The Bloom also stated that the learner should master each of the level before moving to the next higher level, and each level becomes more demands as it becomes higher. And then encourage people to work in groups. The Galileo activity encourage pupils because the group working can make study more efficient and fun. If the pupils are working to a limited time frame, group work allows analysis to a greater depth, and then they work individually. So using Galileo activity, it motivates the pupils to share their own opinion and give their best to generate their best product with their friends. For the data findings, I will show you pre and post test first. It shows a control group and experimental group. Okay, there was a difference between the mean for pre-test, which mean for pre-test is 6.07 and the post-test is 6.43. And then it has increased about 0.43 of the post-test mean compared to the pre-test mean of this control group. This data shows that the pupils had the same critical thinking skills at the end of the research because their mean almost the same. And then for the experiment group, the mean for pre-test was 6.50, while the mean for post-test was 11.80. From the mean data, there was a big difference between the pre-test and post-test in experiment group compared to the data in control group. The increment of the mean data in experiment group was 5.3. Thus, it could be implied that the treatments affect their pupils' critical thinking skills. And then for the interview, I find out that the first theme of the research is light collaborative learning, and then the second theme is people assisted. Okay, for the light collaborative learning, I find out that all the pupils in the classroom feel happy during the Galileo activity. It was because they share their idea with their friends. They said that I like to talk to others to share ideas, and then they said they love when their friends comments on their work and give positive and negative comments so they can improve themselves. For the preferred assisted, I figure out that the pupils preferred uh, peer and teacher assistant during the teaching and learning process. They mentioned that during the interview process, which they said it's really fun to do if I can get to do with my friends. And then they said they like activity because they could work with their friends and share ideas with their friends. Okay, so the pupils also stated that they feel confident to present in front of the class if their friends beside them. Next, the discussion of this research. Uh, for research question 1, does Galileo can improve people critical thinking skills? Yes, the performance of the pupils better in post-test as compared to pre-test. And then the experiment group had higher difference of the mean score than control group. The second one, does the gender affect critical thinking skill? No, because the significance value was more than 0.05. It indicated that there was no significance difference between the variable. Okay, for conclusion, Galileo in the classroom motivates the pupils to be more active, collaborates with their classmates, critical thinking, and improves self-confidence level. This significant value implied that gender was not a significant factor on the pupils' critical thinking skill using Galileo activity. Okay, so overall, from the analysis of the data findings, it concluded that Galileo activity gave a big impact on people's critical thinking skill because the post-test result of the experiment group showed the effectiveness of the Galileo work to improve people's critical thinking. So I have some recommendations to put forward for language teacher teaching the critical thinking skill in the classroom. Uh, for the researcher who may want to carry out further research along the same line as it was done in this research. The first one is give pupils enough time to complete the gallery work activity, and then show pupils the best way to explore a topic and opportunities to generate their content through gallery work, and using gallery work to teach critical thinking skill for low proficiency level of students. Okay, for the implication of the research, the first one, pupils' performance in the classroom can be improved because they can walk around the classroom, get active in the classroom to answer the questions. And the second one, teachers' teaching style, which from teacher-centered to student-centered. And then the pupils' perception towards the subject can change because they think that the use of the activity is fun for them to learn English. I think that's all from me. Thank you.